Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, everyone. So this is our War Room weekend study, sort of like a Harvard Business Review idea. We're just gonna go over what we need to have for the weekend. We're gonna study the Great British Pound (GBP) US pair against the US dollar, and then we're gonna take a look at different crosses. I'm waiting for Mahesh directly from India to join us and take a look at Hawkeye traders, roadkill, fatman, heatmap, volume. Give us an insight and what he's doing, applying one of the most comprehensive and really good packages when it comes to technical analysis. And we'll take a look at, trying to look at the Great British Pound Index. See, I'm not sure if we have it. I'm pretty sure we had it I had it the other day. Trying to determine what it is now. See if we can find it. See the spot index. Let's see if this is the one. Oh, here it is. It already crashed. Can go move a little bit lower. Waiting for my hash. See if he's gonna join us. See if he got it. I think he got the information. Let's just wait for it. You in?
Jose, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Ready?
Yes, ready. How are you?
I'm good. What about yourself?
Doing great.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to share my screen. You should be looking at the Great British Pound Index. Do you see it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is, I already have this weeks ago. So this is where we have to focus our analysis, and a lot of the users audience, they don't know about the Great British Pound Index. It's like the opposite of the dollar index, DXY. And we want to do is to know exactly where is the currency itself before we do any analysis on Hawkeye traders or any trend Fibonacci price rotation. So this is a War Room weekend study. We're gonna go over the Great British Pound, which I think is a ticking bomb before it explodes, but still probably some money that we can make. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a look at the index, and then you will take the floor with other with the pair and a few crosses applying Hawkeye traders. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, but why don't you have the volume here? I don't see the Hawkeye volume.
This is the thing is that this is just an index. I think it comes from NASDAQ.
But
so
all index has a volume associated with it, right?
I'm pretty sure it has it, but we just don't have it, so it's fine.
Okay.
So what we're looking here is just understanding where's the currency. This way, on this view, the monthly, we start on the monthly. This is the channel that we've been playing. This is the when it broke like 2 weeks ago. The pound versus US dollar went all the way down to 114. We remember that. Climb all the way back, and then the currency rushed to the upside from 114 to 124.80 estimated. So that's almost 1,050 pips to the upside in that particular pair. If I were to judge, we are sort of like on thin ice, but nevertheless, if I look or just remove the area and then start looking for clues on, go to the weekly. Let's start looking for me bullish, very bullish. The reason then is you look to the left, we're looking at it's already broken because this demand is already broken at this level. So we cannot work with it. But then if I were to look at, you assume what may happen, we have an offer at 131.50. and it's not broken. This is the last time we have it. This is the option. It's at this
Yes.
level. If I go now look for the daily, let's look at the daily. Now the daily is even more compelling. Look at this. We have the this week. This is now the offer. At some point in time, this will be tested back to 111, somewhere around 114. We have another demand level at 118, 116 that at any given time can be retested. But what I see now is we will see some evidence that we may have this is sort of a pullback and now pushing high. If I were to take this Fibonacci from this level, then you may argue that we have a level around the 121. It already is reversing. So the 38, you have at this level, it went to 122.06, not too far from 38.2% Fibonacci. That's the way it looks right now. And one more view. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. This is where it's a little bit confusing because you have price. There's a small slight gap at this level. So yeah, so it's a little bit tricky. That's where you say, okay, so you have this level. It may want to retest this level around 121.40. So this is the confusing, this level. Roadkill is a little bit on the red right now as well. Heat map, it's red. So it seems that it's still favoring a little bit more of a correction, but everything may happen when markets open on Sunday. So that's what we have to look at, really what may not happen at that level. And this always, there's always a chance that this may reverse. Let's take a look at the 1-hour chart. Again, there you go. See the gap, big gap. I'm pretty sure this happened at the open of last week. So it can finally be an opportunity for this. And there's still no definition, that there's no trend at all here. So there's definitely this opportunity to close the gap. All this, you just take the brush price to cover of that area, and then come and retest 124.50, which will take the pair past the 125 area. So that can be something, and it will all depends how exactly the dollar index opens tomorrow. Well, Monday, but that's what we have to look at. So that's what I think it looks so far. It's not confusing on the weekly weekly and monthly. Still bullish. We already have this retracement. Just to finalize, you have this pullback. Now you have this accumulation. It's accumulated here. You have this accumulated, and it's just looking to break. What else can be there? Just take. Let's see if I can remove everything. Remove drawings. Move drawings and see what else we can have. Let's take a look back at the 4-hour chart. Again, you see you have the gap. You have that gap that it's pretty compelling. But that's pretty much about it. And not much to have it. So one thing I'm going to look into the pound dollar in the M30 30-minute chart. We have this allocation where it looks like it may be reversing. Let me just take you to that screen on my chart. Do you see the M30 now, pound dollar?
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. So you see, we have like this sort of posted at 22.54, then it sort of tried to push higher. It did, and then it closed back 22.64. That was on Friday on the last hours, 22.78. It tried to push from the 38.2% Fibonacci on this time frame, and it's slow. The last thing I want to do before you go in is, so this is the 50. The blue one is the 50 exponential moving average. Now, the way I want to look at this is, okay, where are we with the rest of the traditional moving averages that most traders use, and the ones that are the audience, they have to be aware. They need to know about this. So I'm going to take first, okay, the 100, it's red. I'm going to take the 200. that is green. And I'm going to add the 20 with the orange. Let's use dark orange. There you go. Those are the ones. So let's see. Let's go just have a walk through the different time frames. There you go. You have a little bit of support. That's the 200 on the 1 hour chart. Look how the orange, the 20 is sort of, I will say it's catching up. It will bring and catch up the pound if it comes up here above 122.80. Then we move to the 4 hour. Look at it again. Still nothing defined because this still can open, pop up here. But the one thing to point is the fact that the 200 delivered that strong resistance on the 4 hour chart, prohibiting it to actually break the 125. So 126, 124.70. That was pretty much what was in the game. One, two, three times. That was the offer reaction, and then the decision-making point, and poof, went down. But then somewhere around the 100 moving average, we can say the combination with the 50, there's a lot to be said. Let's go to the daily. The daily, again, look at what the 20 is doing. This is the close bearish, but then still we're not 100%. We need now will be to just a bearish continuation, and I will say an open below this level. Let's say, take a look at the weekly, still the same. Target will be 126.90. After that, we'll look at the 27, and of course, massive resistance at 132 level. The monthly, again, we see all these potential upside levels that, I mean, we can't deny that they're on the table. But short term, if I were to zoom, take a look at this. 128.10, still on the table. This to me still is not convincing. I'm not going to argue that there's this big wick in the middle. It's already tested everything. So we are on just plain simple. If we were to look for something, it's difficult to say. There's not much happening. You probably have this level to the left, the 121.40. Wouldn't be a bad thing to happen. But the way it looks, 128.20 is the first stop. Then we may think about 133. But for now on, it's really difficult to say. The evidence suggests that we may not be surprised if we push higher, but we'll need at least the Great British Pound Index to push higher, same as the dollar index to move down. Go ahead, Mahesh. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Go ahead.
Well, I just agree with everything you said. So I'm not sure what I can add to the discussion right now.
No, well, you always can take a look at GJ, Great British Pound Yen. Take a look and apply Hawkeye Traders tool. So the audience, they see how you apply the tools, your understanding of the tools. We actually have the currency array from Anna. You can talk about a little bit why we decided to get that tool from Anna. What it tells you that is probable, and always share your view on Fatman, which is you have a very deep understanding of Fatman, which is one of the favorite tools for us to understand where is everyone and what we may expect.
Okay, so to the right is Fatman, and this one is the currency array from Anna Cooling. So we'll just check the Fatman first. The orange color is the GBP. We see all the indications of the respective pairs here. So the orange one would be the GBP. And I see right now on the daily that it's actually coming from the fair value. It pushed through the fair value, which is the 50% level, with great strength, and it's on the upward movement. So I think the coming week could be bullish, and after that we have to see what happens, because I think any pullbacks would happen after it comes to this level, the the overbought level. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what I see now is the other currencies which are going down. I think it could be this. The blue one is the US dollar. So as you saw just now, we'll just have a look again at the GBP USD ones. Okay, so this is the Hawkeye tool. And we are using this template. This template is really good. The template is called Hawkeye Full FMRK. What it does is it gives us the volume, the roadkill, the heat map, and also the fat man, the individual currency strength meter directly on one chart. So if I look at the monthly, okay, this is telling me that there's a great buying volume and it's a pretty nice volume. Also, I see on the fat man that it has crossed upward. Okay, this could just give us a little bit of a bearish, sorry, but the bullish bias. But on the weekly, as you said, it's the opposite. We see that the dollar has crossed upwards and the pound has crossed downwards. On the daily, again, we see the opposite. The daily is actually lining up with the monthly, which shows us the pound actually crossed upwards and maybe on the bullish ride to the upside. So how we use the currency array is that it actually shows us the fat man shows us the individual currencies, but the currency array shows us pairs, pair-wise strength. If it is in the green, it shows uptrending movement. If it is in the red, it shows the bearish movement. If it is in the middle, it's consolidation or preparation for the next move to happen. So if we specifically want to check a particular pair, we just select that. So I just selected the GBP right now. And I see that the GBP has been most uptrending on the NZD and AUD pairs on the weekly. This is on the weekly. And on the monthly, we see that GBPUSD is actually in the oversold condition. Okay, it could be a confluence to what we just saw using the Hawkeye tool, that it has a high buy volume on the monthly.
Right, and
Okay.
Mahesh, this is why we were very excited with currency array. Although we love fat man, and everyone should have it, as far as like having a currency strength, very powerful on different platforms, MT4, MT5, TradeStation, NinjaTrader. We also use it on TradingView. Is the fact that it gives you an idea. For example, take a look at just put it on the, okay, so you have it on the Great British Pound. Look at it like, if I were to decide where to put my money on the long-term trade to build up for the audience that they don't trade actively every day, they don't do swing trading or intraday, is the fact that looking at the bottom, I'm looking to buy pound dollar, pound Swiss franc, and pound yen. There may be a little bit of more weakness in the upcoming week at least. But if you were to use like a small lot size, like half a lot, or if you were to have an account, for example, with $5,000, and we can try that, we'll do that for the sake of this video opening on Sunday. Let's say you have $5,000 and you have, for example, one standard lot. What that means is that the pound dollar will need to drop at least 500 points, 500 pips, in order for you to lose your account. Is that something that is on the table? Well, nothing is set in stone in currencies or any type of trading strategy or investing. But after dropping 1,000 and it's already trading around 22, which means that it's not too far from the 38.2% retracement in Fibonacci, then it's hard for us to see that the pound will drop another 500 points, 500 pips, right? So we'll do that example, take $5,000, drop a buy at the market opening with one standard lot, no stop loss, and see what we have for close on Friday. Do you like the idea? Let's give it a try, right?
Yes, I think it's a good try.
Yeah, and this is just, guys, anyone that is watching this session, the recording on our Markers Traders Daily YouTube channel, is some of you guys are really good at trading intraday, some of you guys are really good at swing, but the vast majority of households, the ones who are looking what to do with their funds, how to start trading, this is a perfect example. Combined, mixing up Hawkeye traders, Fatman to the right and to the left, what Mahesh is showing. The ones that are at the bottom, they're still in that sort of like oversold, extreme oversold area. Those are the ones that you want to bet into the future, into what's happening next. And that's what we're going to do. Go ahead, Mahesh, continue.
Yes, so you wanted me to look at GBP/JPY, I think, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this is GJ for us. The monthly is not showing me anything clear because, as you see, the two currencies seem to be moving pretty in tandem with each other. So we'll just drop to the weekly and see. Okay, on the weekly, we actually see that the yen is in strength,
Yes.
and the daily again is showing the opposite. So I think we'll have to wait for a couple of daily candles to close and confirm the direction, because we'll just check the fat man as well. See, on the monthly, we are seeing that yen could also be in strength. It curved here, it is starting to move upward. So what happens here is, if two currencies are moving in the same direction, it is going to lead to consolidation or very limited movements. There could be a lot of whipsaws. It could be bearish one moment and again bullish. So if we enter this particular pair in this situation, I think we could be losing money, or we would be closing positions thinking that it's going to go one way. So I think the best suggestion at this moment would be to try to avoid GJ.
Perfect. Yeah, that's neutral. We go neutral in there on that one. And all we're
Yeah.
doing is just taking a look at currency strength tools.
Hmm.
We look at
Yeah.
Fatman from Hawkeye Trader, and then we look from Anna Cooling. We look at the currency array.
Hmm. So would you like me to look at GBPNZD or GBPAUD?
Yeah, go ahead. Perfectly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's just check GBPNZD right now. Okay, let's start on the daily time frame. Sorry, the monthly time frame. So on the monthly, we clearly see GBP being in strength than NZD, and we also see Hawkeye roadkill entry. It's actually signaling us to go long right now. So this was the previous barrier, which was broken with the last few monthly candles. Okay, we see the heat map to be green, and consistently the last three candles closed above this particular barrier that was previously. So I think the bias at the moment should be bullish on the GBP NZD pair. Let's drop to the weekly. The weekly fat man is not very clear, seem to be moving in the same direction. So we may expect a few pullbacks in the coming week, in the initial days, maybe the first 2 days or so is what I think. But the structure here is good. This is an engulfing candle, and it closed above the previous, all these previous candles, even till this range. If we just take a horizontal line and drop it over here, we see that it closed above all this range that was previously built up. And it also clearly, these candles tried to go up, but they were pushed back. But this candle managed to close above all the resistance. And we do not see a lot of wick at the top, which means there was not much resistance for it to, not much selling pressure or selling resistance. That's on the weekly. Let's just check on the daily. Okay, the daily, we have a fresh signal to go long on the roadkill. I think this is uh, a real positive news, because I just saw it just now. I did not see it previously. So I think at this particular candle is when the signal was given. So I think the bias for the coming week and the coming month for the GBP could be, the bullish bias. Again, on the 1 hour, we have 2 times the buy signal. Any
Correct. Yeah.
comments, Jose?
I think like this is another, we also have to have another simulation. And what we want to do is then take also same another $5,000 when the market opens on Sunday. It's tomorrow. Just look at this. Probably go with half a lot, and just let it go and see what actually turns out to be by the end of the week. See how that analysis went over the cross Great British Pound, New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar, of course, weaker than the pound. And the most attractive, this is one fact, is the most attractive currency for traders in Asia it's still be the pound. That's the proxy that they use for their trades. And also, if the Great British Pound Index, GBP Index, turn out to be bullish a little bit, it will definitely help the New Zealand dollar, the cross, to fly high.
Yeah. So I think at least the first target, we can go to this high, the minimum first target, because we have a range here and it can easily fill 800 pips or so.
Okay. What do you have on
On,
the Great British Pound against the Australian dollar?
yeah, I was about to go there because over here we are seeing it in an overbought condition. So I just wanted to check and see. Uh, this is the weekly candle, sorry, the weekly chart. So let me go for the weekly here as well. So what we're seeing here is on the weekly, at least, the pound is going down, bearish attitude. And we see that the Australian dollar, the red one, as we see here, the red one is the Australian dollar. It's extremely oversold. So it is possible for a small movement, maybe a couple of days candles for a pullback or something like that. So we are just now going to go and check it.
Okay, great.
Okay, GBPAUD, let's see the monthly. The monthly has the same story. Pound is in strength and Australian dollar is in weakness. Um, okay, the weekly, again, weekly is not very conclusive. On the daily also, we do not see anything, because see, what I'm seeing is the fat man is one thing, and I'm seeing the volumes. Are they buying volumes, or what kind of roadkill signal do we have? So at the moment we don't see anything bearish, though it is in the overbought condition. We do not really see any criteria of taking a risk and shorting the GBPAUD. Any comments from you, Jose?
No, I'm pretty much on the same line, and I have my ideas about probably a short term, could be a short term appreciation of the Australian dollar because of the recovery in China. That's what it is. Can be that can be the case. So I will still sort of stay away a little bit of this cross. Do you want to take a look at the pound against the Swiss franc? What do we have there? Is there any opportunity to go long?
Pound against the Swiss franc. On the monthly, again, this could be not a much, may not have much move, but we'll check the weekly. The weekly shows the CHF. This color is the CHF and the orange is the pound. It shows the Swiss franc in strength, but on the daily, it's the opposite. So I really don't have any clarity on this. Let's check the Batman directly. Okay, see, on the monthly, both the pound and the Swiss franc seem to be in a stronger uptrend. We see the pound over here
Yes.
and the Swiss franc. On the weekly,
You put it on the daily.
weekly,
See, we check the daily.
yeah, we'll check the daily. Okay, on the daily, the Swiss franc is actually going down and the pound is in strength. So we'll just go back to the chart. So on the daily, if we see, we are actually seeing that the pound has crossed up and the Swiss franc has crossed down. So let's check the 4 hour if we have anything. No, the 4 hour actually shows the Swiss franc trying to come back. On the 1 hour, we see the Swiss franc in the oversold condition, overbought condition. So
Okay.
maybe on the 4 hours for short term or short term trades, we can take maybe.
Okay.
But if
So
you would like to take control and comment on it, Jose, I can give you the remote now.
yeah, let me just give me a second, just taking the notes so we know what we're going to offer to the audience by market open and what we were going to follow on my FX book. So yeah, go ahead. So what I look at the opportunity now, as usual, heat map is just sharing how the momentum is bearish, nothing that we don't know already. There is a small correction we can take a look at. Let me see if we can put it to 30, M30. Same story, no different. A little bit of volume, buying volume. We can argue that there is Fibonacci. So we got trend Fibonacci. We have these levels in trend Fibonacci, the 61.8% at 119.64. I think the audience, they can see that. And what I'm looking at is the reaction, how price reacted at the 199.93, prohibiting the pound to cross up this area into the 20, because it will open the doors to go all the way up to 2090 and more. Now, what I'm looking at and still buying is the fact that if we started the week a little bit weak when it comes to indexes, The market has been stumble back and forth, and this week can be a little bit of buying, spring. A lot of funds can add a little bit more, because now what is happening is that everyone is calling like the market is going to go lower. As soon as you have all these headlines, the market may go lower, is when we know the market may go higher. The market is not really dipping anymore. 4% down, it's not a big deal when you already went all the way 20, 15% last month. So it's not such a big deal. Let me just see if I can remove this. Delete the, oh no, I think deleted something else.
Okay, you can just right click on it and get the template back.
Yeah, I think I took
Templates.
it here, this one?
No, you need to go to the template.
Template.
Oh, it's right there. It's right there under the indicator list.
Indicator list. Oh no.
No, you can just right click on the chart. Right click on the chart. Okay,
yeah,
scroll down.
templates.
Yes, templates. Hawkeye full FM RK. Yeah, that's the one.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, we're back. So that's some ideas. So the whole idea in this war room weekend study is take a look at the pound as a probable surprise during this week, and what we'll do is just track 3 currencies on different simulation accounts for the audience. We'll do the one with long pound USD, pound dollar, long pound New Zealand dollar, and long pound Swiss franc. With the pound New Zealand and Swiss franc, we'll do half a lot. With the pound US dollar, we'll do a full lot. See what we can get by the end of the week. That will be the only trade, and how that will perform on your money. And using, depending on the cases, in Europe, the audience may get up to 500 to 1. 500 to 1 on leverage is not bad. We're using only one lot. The expectation is the pound not to drop 500 pips in 1 week. That's the idea.
Yeah.
And then the same for the currencies. Now we know that currency crosses like the pound New Zealand, they are very wild. That's where we're reducing by half a point or lot size. And then the Swiss franc, we always know the Swiss can be really wild. We're not expecting that to take place, but that's what we're looking at. Okay, so that's the idea of what we want to do for testing our views. And then we're going to stay away from neutral currencies, as Mahesh said. As you said, Mahesh, staying away from the pound versus the Japanese yen. Wild card might as well be neutral for us. And I'm a little bit sort of in between ideas with the Great British Pound against the Australian dollar. It's a really nice cross. Australian dollar, a little bit of a trick, because China may be recovering before the rest of the world. I mean, they already went to the lockdown. They're opening, so it's something that we have to consider. So I'm still not sure. It's still a lot of green, but take a look at the 30 M30. Let's see what we have on M30. Take a look there.
M30 is buy, because we have the Hawkeye signal here, and also we see the pound crossing upwards.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky. So yeah, we have that on the short term, and that could be probable by the beginning of the trading week, the opening on Sunday. So we want to take a look at that. Okay, folks, guys, this is all we have for you today. Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you, everyone. This is the War Room Weekend Study.
It was nice having.
Yeah, thank you, man. How you feel? How you feel when we do these recordings?
It's really good. It's you can actually bounce ideas off each other, and we can benefit from each other's knowledge and perspectives.
Yeah, I think like one of the things I like when you're on board is the Fatman, how you use Fatman. I use Fatman. I love Roadkill. I love the Fatman tool. Roadkill being my favorite because, of course, it makes your life easy. Life easier when you have the the big green down there. Everyone can see all the red. Yes. Sort of like what most traders want is just, when do I buy? When do I sell? That's what we want. So that's the beauty of Roadkill. Right. Yeah, but at the end of the day, volume matters. And it's a lot of
Yes.
that sharing. So we just go back and forth. Definitely crosses the half potential. But I think the audience, anyone that is looking to trade now with the explosion and is here to stay, WFH, work from home. Work from home, I think, aside of producing food, farms, and all that, I think the arena has changed as far as where do we make money, where do we add value, how we spend our time. I think the arena now is trading and investing. So currency being one of the different products we offer, one of the different coaching sessions that we have in the war room. But I look forward to do more of this with you, man, because these are really good for everyone to listen to someone like you that has been devoting time, devoting yourself, because you're a professional data scientist, so devoting your time after work and juggling between family and your personal endeavors to share with everyone what you have learned, how to use one, probably, if not one of the most comprehensive and complete technical tools out there, which is the Hawkeye Trader. Don't you
Mhm.
agree?
Yes, I agree, Jose. Also, thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So guys, we'll let you go. The recording will be at Market Search Daily YouTube channel. Please take a look at the links. We will have the links ready by Sunday, sometime around 1 a.m. Our time, my time in Europe. You can check them. We're gonna go long, the pound versus the US dollar with one standard lot, and our thesis is that there's no way, we think, no way that the pound can drop 500 pips. And then we will go also long. We're going to buy the pound. We are betting on the pound to surprise everyone this week. We're going to bet on the pound versus the New Zealand dollar. That's a wild currency cross. And of course, we're going to go long the pound versus the Swiss franc. Okay. And with those, we're going to take half standard lot, to see where we go all the way into Friday next week. Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This is Jose Ricarte from the War Room. Thank you, guys.